वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्ये नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नश्रप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवयाम् भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी श्रीमद्भागवतं तृतीयस्कन्धः अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः। श्रीब्रह्म उवाच इति गृणदां तेषां मुनीनां योगधर्मिणां प्रतिनत्य जगता देदं विकुण्डनिलयो विभुः।
Lord Brahma said, after thus congratulating the sages for their nice words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose abode is in the kingdom of God, spoke as follows.
श्लोक 2 श्रीभगवान् उवाच एतौ तौ पार्षदो मह्यं जयो विजय एव च कदर्ति कृत्यां मां यत् वो बह्वा क्रातमधिक्रमम्।
The Personality of Godhead said, these attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me.
श्लोक 3 यस्त्वेतयोर्धृत्यो दण्डो भवद्भिर्मनुव्रतेः स एवानुमदोऽस्माभिर्मुनयो देहहेळनात्।
O great sages, I approve of the punishment that you who are devoted to me have meted out to them.
श्लोक 4 तद्वप्रसादयामृत्या ब्रह्मदैवं परं हि मे तद्धित्यात्मकृतं मन्ये यत्सम्पुम्बीर सत्कृतः।
To me, the Brahmana is the highest and most beloved personality. The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen.
श्लोक 5 यन्नामानि च गृह्णाति लोको भृत्यो कृताकसी सो साधुवादास्तत्कीर्तिं हन्ति त्वच विभवामयः।
A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin.
श्लोक 6 यस्यामृतमलयः श्रवणावगाहः सत्या पुनादि जगदाश्व पचाद्विकुण्डः सोऽहं भवद्भ्य उपलब्धा सुतीर्थकीर्ति चित्यां स्वबाहुमभिवां प्रतिकूलवृत्तिम्।
Anyone in the entire world, even down to the Kandala, who lives by cooking and eating the flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if he takes bath in hearing through the ear the glorification of my name, fame, etc. Now you have realized me without doubt. Therefore, I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if it is conduct if its conduct is found hostile to you.
श्लोक 7 यल्सेवयच्चरणपद्मपवित्ररेणुं सत्यांशदम अखिलं मलं प्रतिलब्धशीलं न श्रीर्विरक्तमभिमां विजहाति यस्यः प्रेक्षालवार्त इतरे नियमान् वहन्ति।
The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her, while others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor.
श्लोक 8 नाहं तथात्मि यजमानः विर्विताने चोत्यत्कृत तप्लुप्त मदन् हुतभुङ्कमेन् मुखेन यद्ब्राह्मणस्य मुगतञ्चरतोऽनुकासं तुष्टस्य मय्यवहितैर्निज कर्मपाकैः।
I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrifices in the sacrificial fire, which is one of my own mouths, with the same relish as I do the delicacies overflowing with ghee, which are offered to the mouths of the Brahmanas, who have dedicated to me the results of their activities, and who are never satisfied with my prasada.
Slogan 9. Yesham viparmya makanta vikunta yoka maya viputira malankri rajaha kiride vipram sukona vishaheta yadarhanamba satya punadi sah chandralala malokan.
I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnants left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds, along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same?
Sloka 10. Ye me tanurtvacha varan duhattirmamadiya bhutanyalipta sharanani chabeta buddhya drishyandi karshada drishyo hihyamanyavastadan griddarukshama krishyanda didanda neduha.
The Brahmanas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body, those whose facility of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamaraj, the superintendent of sinful persons.
Sloka 11. Ye brahmanan maidiya shipatorchayanda tushyantyata smita sudoshita padmavaktraha vanyanuraga kalayatmaja vadgrananda sambodayandya yandyaha yandyahamivaha ubahridaste.
On the other hand, they captivate my heart, who are glanded in the heart, and who, their lotus faces enlightened by nectarian smiles, respect the Brahmanas. Even though the Brahmanas utter harsh words, they look upon the Brahmanas as my own self, and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I am pacifying you.
Sloka 12. Tanme sabartura lakshamaणौ युष्मद्रुधि क्रमगतिं प्रतिपत्य सद्यः भूयो ममान्तिकमिदां तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतामचिरदो भृत्ययोर्विवासः.
These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long.
Shloka 13. Brahmovacha ada tasyoshadhim devim rishikulam saraswatim nasadyamanyudashtanam teshamatmapya tripyade.
Rama continued, even though the sages had been bitten by the serpent of anger, their souls were not satiated with hearing the Lord's lovely and im- emulating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns.
Sloka 14. Satim vrataya srinando ligvim gurvarta gahwaram vigahyagada gambiram navidust dachikishitam.
The Lord's excellent speech was difficult to comprehend because of its momentous import and its most profound significance. The sages heard it with wide open ears and pondered it as well, but although hearing, they could not understand what he intended to do.
Sloka 15. ते योगमायया पारमेष्ट्यो महोदयं प्रोच्युः प्राज्ञल्लयो विप्रः प्रहृष्टा शुभिद शुभिदत्वचः.
The four Brahmana sages were nevertheless extremely delighted to behold him, and they experienced a thrill throughout their bodies. They then spoke as follows to the Lord, who had revealed a multi-glorious of the Supreme Personality through his internal potency, Yogamaya.
श्लोक 16 ऋषयो उवाच न वयं भगवन् विदमस्तव देवः चिकीर्षितं कृत्तो मे अनुग्रह चेति यददक्ष्यः प्रभाषसे.
The sages said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intended for us to do, for even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you.
श्लोक 17 ब्राह्मणस्य परं दैवं ब्राह्मणा किल ते प्रभो विप्राणां देवदेवानां भगवानात्मदैवतम्.
O Lord, you are the supreme director of the Brahminical culture. You're considering the Brahmanas to be in the highest position. Is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the supreme worshipful deity, not only for the gods, but for the Brahmanas also.
श्लोक 18 तत्त्व सनातनो धर्मो रिष्यते तनुभिस्तदवा धर्मस्य परमो गुह्यो निर्विकारो भवान् मदः.
You are the source of the internal occupation of all living entities, and by your multi manifestations of personalities of Godhead, you have always protected religion. You are the supreme objective of religious principles, and in your opinion, you are inexhaustible and unchangeable eternally.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mataji, Sija Mataji and Krishna Gopal Das Prabhu. Very nice Sanskrit recitation and translation. Thank you so much. Okay, I will start today's chapter. Today's chapter is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, and chapter 16, which is the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya, cursed by the sages. Before doing that, I would like to do some prayers before reciting it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयस्थस्थोय भद्राणि विधुनोति सुरत्सतां नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुकुं करोति वचलं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम् Hare Krishna. So I would like to share my screen. So we're going to text 5, 3.16.5. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam 3.16.5. Yannamani cha grihnati loko bhritye krita gasi so sadhuvadas tatkirtim hanti tvacham ivamyayaha. Translation. A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin. Hare Krishna, would anyone like to read the purport?
I can read Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
A Vaishnava therefore should be fully qualified, as stated in the Bhagavatam. Anyone who has become a Vaishnava has developed all the good qualities of the demigods. There are 26 qualifications mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. A devotee should always see that his Vaishnava qualities increase with the advancement of his Krishna consciousness. A devotee should be blameless because any offense by the devotee is a scar on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotee's duty is to be always conscious in his dealings with others, especially with another devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. And 3.16.6. Yasyamritamala yashaha shravanavagahaha satyah punati jagat ashvapachad vikuntaha soham bhavadbhaya upalabdha sutirha kirtish chindyam swabahumapi vaha pratikula vritim. Translation. Anyone in the entire world, even down to the Chandal, who lives by cooking and eating the flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if he takes bath in hearing through the ear the glorification of my name, fame, etc. Now you have realized me without doubt. I therefore will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if its conduct is found hostile to you. Purport. Any volunteers?
Shall I read again, Mataji?
Krishna. Hare Krishna. I think someone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Someone?
Krishna. Sorry, Mataji. Can I
Indira
try?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Right. Okay. Hare Krishna. The real purification can take place in human society if its members take to Krishna consciousness. This is clearly stated in all the Vedic literature. Anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness in all sincerity, even if he is not very advanced in good behavior, is purified. A devotee can be recruited from any section of human society, although it is not expected that everyone in all segments of society is well behaved. As stated in this verse and in many places in Bhagavad Gita, if one is not born in a Brahman family, or even if he is born in a family of Chandalas, if he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he is immediately purified. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, verses 30 to 32, it is clearly stated that even though a man is not well behaved, if he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he is understood to be a saintly person. As long as a person is in this material world, he has two different relationships in his dealings with others. One relationship pertains of a body and is purified to spiritual platform. It is sometimes seen that he acts in terms of his bodily relationships. If a devotee born in a family of Chandala, the lowest caste, is sometimes found engaged in his habitual activities, he is not to be considered as a Chandala. In other words, a Vaishnava should not be elevated in terms of his body. The Shastra states that no one should think the deity in the temple to be made of wood or stone. and no one should think that a person coming from a lower caste family who has taken to Krishna consciousness is still of the same low caste. This attitude are forbidden because, sorry, I'm lost now. Because anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness is understood to be fully purified. He is at least engaged in the process of purification, and if he sticks to the principle of Krishna consciousness, he will very soon be fully purified. The conclusion is that if one takes to Krishna consciousness with all the seriousness, he is to be understood as already purified, and Krishna is ready to give him protection by all means. The Lord assures herein that he is ready to give protection to his devotees, even if there is need to cut off part of his own body. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Beautiful translation, purport. 3.16.7. Yad sevaya charana padma pavitra renum sandhyakshatakila malam prati labdhasilam na sharir viraktam api mam vijahati yasyaha prekshala itare niyaman vahanti. Translation. The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her, while others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor. Purport. Hare Krishna, anyone would like to read these transcendental Prabhupada's purports so that you'll always remember them?
I would like to read.
Who is it? Yashwini Mataji? Okay, Hare Krishna.
The relationship between the Lord and his devotee is transcendently beautiful. As the devotee thinks that it is due to being a devotee of the Lord that he is elevated in all good qualities, so the Lord also thinks that it is because of his devotion to the servitor that all his transcendental glories have increased. In other words, as the devotee is always anxious to render service to the Lord, so the Lord is ever anxious to render service to the devotee. The Lord admits herein that although life certainly has the quality that anyone who receives a slight particle of the dust of his lotus feet becomes at once a great personality. This greatness is due to his affection for his devotee. It is because of this affection that the goddess of fortune does not leave him, and that not only one, but many thousands of goddesses of fortune engage in his service. In the material world, simply to get a little favor from the goddess of fortune, people observe many rigid regulations of austerity and penance. The Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on the part of the devotee. He is therefore famous as Bhakta Vatsala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Very nice words as well. Naham tathatmi yajman havirvitani shyotad grihata plutam adanhuta bhunmukhena yad pramanasya mukhatascharato nughasam tushtasya mayaya avahitair nijakarma pakeh. Translation. I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrificers in the sacrificial fire, which is done of my own mouths, with the same relish as I do the delicacies overflowing with ghee, which are offered to the mouths of the brahmanas, who have dedicated to me the results of their activities and who are ever satisfied with my prasad. Purport. Would anyone like to do the last one?
Yes, please, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The devotee of the Lord or the Vaishnava does not take anything without offering it to the Lord. Since a Vaishnava dedicates all the results of his activities to the Lord, he does not taste anything eatable which is not first offered to him. The Lord also relishes giving to the Vaishnav's mouth all the eatables offered to him. It is clear from this verse that the Lord eats through the sacrificial fire and the Brahmana's mouth. So many articles, grains, geese, etc., are offered in sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. The Lord accepts sacrificial offerings from the Brahmanas and devotees. And elsewhere it is stated that whatever is given for the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas to eat is also accepted by the Lord. But here it is said that he accepts offering to the mouths of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas with even greater relish. The best example of this is found in the life of Advaita Prabhu in his dealings with Haridasa Thakura. Even though Haridasa was born of a Mohammedan family, Advaita Prabhu offered him the first dish of prasada after the performance of a sacred fire ceremony. Haridasa Thakura informed him that he was born of a Mohammedan family and asked why Advaita Prabhu was offering the first dish to a Mohammedan instead of an elevated Brahmana. Out of his humbleness, Haridasa condemned himself as a Mohammedan, but Advaita Prabhu, being an experienced devotee, accepted him as a real Brahmana. Advaita Prabhu asserted that by offering the first dish to Haridasa Thakur, he was getting the result of feeding 100,000 Brahmanas. The conclusion is that if one can feed a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, it is better than performing hundreds of thousands of sacrifices. In this age, therefore, it is recommended that Hare Nama, chanting the holy name of God, and pleasing the Vaishnava are the only means to elevate oneself to spiritual life. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna. Very beautiful chapter, canto, and particularly these verses also. If we read these verses again and again, we'll find so many good examples and messages that Krishna and actually Prabhupada is giving in the purports. And you would have noticed so much glorification of Vaishnava and Brahmana is being done in these verses, particularly how Krishna sees his devotees and how important Brahmanas are for Krishna. We can see that, and how Krishna deals with his devotees, that also we can see, and how a devotee's behavior should be. So all these main points are extracted from these purports, Prabhupada's relishable purports. And thank you, Mataji, for reading these purports. They are very very purifying actually and life-changing. So if we see this verse, the translation says, a wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin. So why this verse came up and why we're talking about behavior of a leader or a servant, sorry, not leader. Why is it mentioned that how a servant should be? So it is mentioned because the chapter is about Jaya and Vijaya and the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha. That is what the chapter is about. Maybe I can stop sharing the screen. No, okay, leave it. Yes, so Jaya and Vijaya, they are doorkeepers. They were doorkeepers in Vaikuntha, and the 4 Kumaras came there and they wanted to take darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord. And they did not know that these are such an highly elevated souls and devotees of the Lord. And for Krishna, how important is the devotee? How that we can see from this story and this example that Krishna can't tolerate when a devotee of the Lord is offended by someone. And we will see in these chapters and in these verses how Krishna deals, how devotees deals, and and how Krishna creates such a scenario to teach his devotees through the dealings, actually. I was reading one of the quotes by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he was saying that you will get purified through the dealings of the devotees. We don't have to go anywhere else. Within the devotee circle only, we will, through the dealings within the devotees, we will get purified. And we sometimes get irritated. We sometimes think, why so and so person is acting in so and so way? They are a devotee, they should act like this. But actually those are all purificatory processes that shows our inner shortcomings. As we grow in Krishna consciousness, we start seeing our own shortcomings, that, oh, how can I see some bad in other person? Because my own inner environment is like that. That's why I'm only seeing those things outside that is manifesting in the other person. But once Krishna is established, the bhakti, pure bhakti and love for God is established, we will see others, everyone as a devotee, and we'll start seeing Krishna in them instead of their outer superficial bodily or modes, the way they are affected by the modes. So here Krishna is giving so many lessons through Jaya and Vijaya's story, where they, the situation was so that they didn't realize who is in front of them, and they made offenses, and because of that they had to take birth again in this material world. And so many, and rest is history, how they got birth and how Krishna had to descend. And this all was created by Krishna only to give us, to teach us all how to deal with each other, and why is it so important to realize who is God, and to be with him, why this world is so unsafe for us. So this is all just created by Krishna. So here, coming back to the point that why we are mentioning here, the wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, because Prabhupada is saying very nicely in the purport that a Vaishnava should be fully qualified, should be blameless in one way. We should be very, very conscious of our behavior. That is what this whole story teaches us about. How should we deal with others? As stated in Bhagavatam, anyone who becomes a Vaishnava has developed all good qualities of demigods. And there are 26 qualifications mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and these 26 qualifications are very, very, if we go back and meditate and read these qualifications and qualities, we will see that we should actually measure our devotion by looking at these qualities. Have I developed tolerance? Have I developed humility? Have I developed just so many beautiful qualities in those 26 qualities? But we should not just mechanically practice but look at these qualities within ourselves, that am I really progressing? I may be practicing for 50 years, but I may not be progressing because the qualities are not coming in within me. So Vaishnava's dealings and how a Vaishnava is seen in the outer world is through his behavior rather than through his outward appearance. A devotee should always see that his Vaishnava qualities increase with the advancement of Krishna consciousness, and he should be blameless, like I said. He shouldn't be like for example, if we go to office or we deal with other people and wherever we are, whatever bad we do, whatever we are doing, we are representing our gurus and we are representing our society, Krishna consciousness society, ISKCON. We are representing Krishna. So if we behave whimsically or we behave in a wrong way, then our guru gets the credit. He will be blamed. Then Krishna will be blamed. Prabhupada will be blamed. So we should be conscious about how we deal with the outer world. And that is why here it says that any wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master. So if I do something wrong or act against the scriptures, or I get affected by modes and act in a wrong way with others, then Krishna will be blamed, and we have to be conscious about this. So very nice learning from this verse. And the other one is, anyone in this entire world, even down to the Chandal, who lives by cooking or eating flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if he take baths in hearing through the air of glorification of my name, fame. And now you have realized me without doubt, therefore I will not hesitate to lop off my arm if its conduct is found hostile to you. So real purification takes place in human society if the members take Krishna consciousness. So there is no, what this verse tells us is that there is no one who, we can't compare people based on their births. We can't say that you are born in a Brahmana family. Prabhupada emphasizes on this point so much, that just being born in some family or just being born to a doctor's father or mother, we don't automatically become that. We have to become qualified for that. And Krishna is actually, and Prabhupada in the purport is glorifying Vaishnavas actually. And if we see in the end here, it also says that a Brahmana is actually a Vaishnava only. Why? Sorry, a Brahmana. So Vaishnava is actually a Brahmana only, because a Brahmana, what does a Brahmana do? A Brahmana goes on to inquire about Brahman. He realizes the Brahman, so he's called a Brahmana. But Brahman, to realize Brahman is the first step towards knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the real Krishna, the real Bhagavan. We have to, the first step is to know the Brahman, his effulgence. And we as Vaishnavas, we directly take to Krishna consciousness, we directly take to the path of bhakti. So we automatically becomes Brahmana also. So that's why Krishna here in this, here when he glorifies Brahmanas and all, he's mentioning actually the Vaishnavas. And here we can see that there is no discrimination. Brahmanas who, even if he's eating he was born in a family of flesh or dog eaters, if he's taking to the process of chanting, he becomes purified at once. But if we see if we still see in India, some of the places in India, they still are very strict about inheritance or heritage, from which family you're coming, what's your background. May not be following anything, but because of the inheritance, they will say that, okay, I belong to this family, I was in Brahmana and my family is Brahmana, so, but they're eating meat and doing everything, so that doesn't actually make them Brahmana. But if a Chandal or dog eater, he takes to Krishna consciousness, he will be considered as a Brahmana, very pure, and Krishna will take charge of that person. So we have example of Haridas Thakur also. Haridas Thakur was born in meat eater family also. He was born in lower caste family of that time, if we say. But because he took to the Krishna consciousness process, his heart was aligned with Krishna, and he was following this Nam Sankirtan movement. He became even more than a Brahmana. He's a pure Vaishnava. So Krishna treats him us according to our bhakti, our mood, our mood, and our how we approach him. It is also said, it is stated in this verse in many places in Bhagavad Gita, even if one is born in a Brahmana family, or even if born in Chandal, if he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he immediately becomes purified. We don't have to do sacrifices properly. Oh no, I have eaten meat in my past, I can't. Some people are scared or afraid of approaching God because they think they've done so many sinful activities that they shouldn't approach God. They feel shy to confront God. But Krishna, that's why we need to preach. That's why we need to tell our dear friends and whoever's interested. We have to tell them to come out of that mentality that you are a sinner or something. But here Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. He's saying he will immediately get purified by taking his names and taking part in this Sankirtan movement. If he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he's considered to be a saintly person. There's another important point in purport that Prabhupada mentioned, that that some people, if they're born in a low caste or maybe Chandal family, if say take example, if they are found to be engaged in some habitual activities, which means, for example, if I was smoking or drinking for many years, and all of a sudden now I came in contact with Krishna consciousness, and I've started getting taste of bhakti, I started associating with devotees, my past habits have I'm working on them and they've completely gone. But there is still a chance because of the conditioning of the past karmas and past life. There is still a chance that if I get an opportunity, I may fall down again and I may start doing the same things that I did previously, because there's so many impressions in the mind from past karma that it's just like withdrawal symptom. So it's just like you want to cut off something, but your mind will wander to and start going towards the thing that you're cutting off. So here Prabhupada is saying very nicely that we have to, that if a devotee born in a family of a Chandal, lower caste, if sometimes found engaged in habitual activities that he was doing previously before Kesi, he is not to be considered as a Chandal, because maybe he is still used to it. He's still used to eating meat or something. And by mistake or because of his previous habit, he made a mistake. A mistake, not knowingly, but unknowingly, because of his habit, he made some mistake. Then also he should be considered a Vaishnava or saintly person. We should not judge. In other words, a Vaishnava should not be evaluated in terms of his body also. But then Prabhupada also warns us that we should not take this statement for granted and then start committing offenses and sins again. That, oh, I used to do this, so I can start. No, this is not a freedom, or we should not take advantage of it. But we should just see that we should not judge others. Our responsibility, we can take our own responsibility of my own life, that I will follow the 4 regulative principles. I will chant my 16 rounds and follow Prabhupada and my Guru's instructions. I can take responsibility for my own life. But if I see someone else that, oh, maybe they have fallen down, or they did made some mistake, they shouldn't have. We should not judge others. Our responsibility is to just look after our own bhakti and not judge, but help others, push them towards Krishna. So we should still consider them as saintly, but then it's not a license for us to start making mistakes. That's another thing we have to be careful about. Okay, the Shastras state that no one should think that deity in the temple is made of wood or stone. No one should think that person coming from lower caste family who has taken to Krishna consciousness is still the same low caste. No, if someone, we see in our ISKCON, people are given Brahman initiation, they do deity worship and all. So it doesn't matter from what background they were coming. They come to Krishna consciousness, they automatically become very dear to Krishna. They automatically becomes Vaishnavas. Okay, and these attitudes are forbidden because anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness is understood to be fully purified, like we said. And Lord assures herein that he is ready to give protection to his devotee, even if there is need to cut off the body of his own, cut off the part of his own body. Lord is so much merciful, and so much merciful to his devotees especially. And here we can say, someone would say that why Krishna is being partial, he should be equal to everyone. But it's just like a teacher in the school who sees that, okay, all students are there are 50 students in the class, but there will be 1 or 2 students who will be already prepared, who will be conscious that, okay, teacher is coming today, I must be prepared about the topic that I'm going to study today. They will show more interest, they will raise their hands, they will ask questions, they will have more discussion with the teacher. So teacher gives them special position. Okay, you become a monitor of the class, you take this responsibility now. They become more aware that someone is giving me attention. So in the same way, when Krishna sees that this soul is having more attention towards coming back, and he's doing constant effort, sincerely coming to me, then he will reciprocate accordingly. But it's not that he is biased to someone. Then another verse, which is our 7th verse, the Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe off this all sin. If we look at the purports, which purports are so relishable, the relationship between the Lord and his devotee has been glorified here, is transcendently beautiful. As devotee thinks that it is being devotee and Lord actually keeps glorifying each other. They're always, devotees glorifying Krishna all the time, because the devotee feels joy in glorifying the Krishna. He's all worries, he doesn't think about anything when he glorifies, and when he serves Krishna, our all worries goes away. When we go in the temple, we do some seva for Krishna, we will feel our energy is charged up, because that is our real position too. He's our real friend, he's our real father. When we serve him, our soul gets purified. But when we go out and do some other activities or little different activities, we may get a little passionate or maybe frustrated. In the same way, when Lord also Devotee and Lord's reciprocity. We're just seeing how devotees' dealings, Lord's dealings are with the devotee. Devotee always thinks of glorifying the Lord and thinks about Him and finds joy in serving the Lord. In the same way, Lord also thinks that how Lord also thinks that this is because of his devotion to the servitor that all his transcendental glories have increased. He thinks in this way that because of my devotee, because of my devotee, my glories, he's glorifying me. And because it's because of my devotee that my glories are becoming more. So that's why he really looks after his devotees, and he really loves. He can do anything for his devotees. It is that's Krishna is Bhaktavatsal. In the last line of the purport, that's what Prabhupada is saying. The Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on part of the devotee. He is therefore famous as Bhaktavatsal. A very important point to note, and which gives us more strength that Krishna cannot be controlled by as much as fruit, offerings you give or clothes or any materialistic things, that all belongs to him. But he's just Bhaktavats. He just wants our pure devotion, sincerity, love, our bhav. That's what he's looking for. And the last verse for today, I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrificers in the sacrificial fire, which is one of my own mouths, with the same relish as I do the delicacies overflowing with the ghee which are offered to the mouths of brahmanas. So here Prabhupada again started mentioning about the brahmanas and how important Vaishnava. A brahmana here is actually Vaishnava. He is considering Vaishnava as a brahmana. A devotee of the Lord or a Vaishnava doesn't take anything without offering to the Lord, because whatever he loves Lord so much that he doesn't. Since a Vaishnava dedicates all the results of his activities to the Lord, he doesn't taste anything eatable which is not first offered to the Lord. The Lord also relishes giving the Vaishnava's mouth all eatables offered to him. It is also said that when we, Prabhupada says in the purport, that when we feed Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, actually Lord accepts that. So we should try to feed, invite Vaishnavas in our homes. Whenever we get opportunity to serve Vaishnavas or offer them prasadam, we should do that, because then it's Krishna actually. Here it is mentioned in the purport only that you are actually offering Krishna accepted. Krishna is accepting that, and he gets very happy. He's very pleased. So it is clear from this verse that the Lord eats through the sacrificial fire and Brahmana's mouth. See, so again it is mentioned here. The Lord accepts sacrificial offerings from the Brahmanas and devotees, and elsewhere it is stated that whatever is given for the Brahmana and Vaishnava to eat is also accepted by the Lord. So that's why we should try to feed Vaishnavas if we can, and because Lord accepts that. But here it is said that he accepts offering to the mouths of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas with even greater relish. The best example here, very nice example Prabhupada has given, is Advaita Prabhu. In the life of Advaita Prabhu and his dealings with Haridas Thakur. So we all know that Haridas Thakur was born in a Mohammedan family and in a Muslim family, but Advaita Prabhu, he is a pure devotee. Advaita Prabhu offered him the first dish of prasad after performance of the sacred fire ceremony, because he considered Haridas Thakur no less than a pure devotee of the Lord, or a Brahmana. So Haridas Thakur, even though he's materially a Muslim, but Advaita Prabhu, this is how he behaves, and this is how he deals with him. Haridas Thakur informed him that Haridas Thakur is saying, I was born in a Mohammedan family, and why are you giving me the first offering? I'm not a Brahmana. But then that is the humbleness. Out of his humbleness, Haridas condemned him as Mohammedan, but Advaita Prabhu, being experienced devotee, accepted him as a real Brahmana, because he is purely chanting the names of the Lord and offenseless chanting of the names of the Lord, and ready to do anything for the Lord. Advaita Prabhu asserted by offering the first dish to Haridas Thakur, he was getting the result of feeding 100,000 Brahmanas. Just imagine. That's why I was saying that we should try to feed Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Just imagine how just feeding one person, one Vaishnava, he got 100,000 like result of feeding 100,000 brahmanas. The conclusion is that if one can feed a brahmana or Vaishnava, it is better than performing hundreds of thousands of sacrifices. Better to feed a Vaishnava and serve him. In this age, therefore, it is recommended that Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam kalo nastev, nastev, nastev gatiranyatha. That chanting the holy name of the Lord and pleasing the Vaishnavas, so important. Prabhupada has mentioned in purports again and again about pleasing the Vaishnavas and how Vaishnavas' behavior should be, how his conduct should be, and how to please Vaishnavas, how to not compare and not just compare on based of their caste, their bodily features, their background or country, religion or whatever, not to judge anyone. Some in ISKCON people come from different backgrounds, but we should not say that this is white, this is black, this is Chinese, this is what this and that. But they are, if they're chanting and if they're surrendered to Krishna and their Guru, they are pure devotees of the Lord, without irrespective of what background anyone comes from. So we should be very careful of not offending the devotees of the Lord, and they are very dear to the Lord, and try to serve them, please the Vaishnava, and chant the holy name of the Lord again and again. This is coming, and sometimes we take chanting so casually, because we think, oh, it's such an easy process. We just chant anywhere without taking attention and without respecting the holy name. We just take a holy name for granted. But Prabhupada, the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness is based on the holy name of the Lord. So if the holy name is not done properly and not chanted properly, then what are we practicing? So we should be consciously trying to chant the holy name of the Lord and try to listen to the name and improve our chanting, because this is the basis, this is a battery. And then like just when we charge the phone, the battery is the one needs to be charged, right? So this is the battery for us to be working, to be growing spiritually, chanting the holy name and pleasing the Vaishnavas. And who are the Vaishnavas? Our gurus, our these devotees who we meet and in the temple and in our homes, our family members, everyone, even if they take Krishna's name once in their life. So this is the only way that we can elevate oneself to the in the spiritual life. And very, very important to not commit offenses and to try to become a Vaishnava and set good examples. I'll stop sharing the screen. So in the previous verses, it's very beautifully mentioned in the previous verses, in 1, 2, 3, and 4 verses in the purports, that we should be very conscious of our of how we are representing Krishna, ISKCON, and our Guru. Whatever we do, people will follow, and people will start judging and putting fingers on the whole organization, that this is people outside world are better than you. If you being a Vaishnava also, you are getting angry, you are doing this, you're doing that, look at your diplomacy, look at you're not, none of the qualities are there, then what are we doing? But we are not improving as a Vaishnava. So the qualities are very important. And we should go back in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's mentioned 26 qualities of Vaishnava. We should try to see, have I really got any one of these qualities? Then maybe I'm progressing, because Krishna is very pure. And if we want to enter into Krishna Loka and Goloka, we can't enter into Krishna Loka without getting pure. And getting pure means getting these qualities within ourselves, and be consciously trying to work on these qualities. So without getting these qualities in us, we cannot enter Krishna Loka. We have to come back, learn the lesson, and maybe repeat, practice Krishna consciousness, but we won't go back unless we develop these qualities within us. Hare Krishna. With that, I'll stop speaking. And if someone wants to share something from their experience or their own realizations, there are so many senior devotees here. Please forgive me for any offenses. Please, I would like to hear from all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Allah Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very wonderful session. So just one point on the fifth shloka where Lord is speaking on the Yennamani Gruhnati Loko Brutye Krutagasi so Asadhuvar Tat Kitim Hanti Twachim Ivamaya. So just to give a bit attention to that one, so just one point to mention that the devotees of the Lord, by accepting the name of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Yanama Nicha Guruhnati, Loko Brutya Krutagasi, Brutya, my devotees, they take the names, my names, and always chant. And Krutagasi, if they make mistake, if they make any offenses in their lives, so Asadhuvat Tat Kirtin Hanti Twachim Ivamaiha. So that one, it would directly impact the Lord and his credibility. So when we are chanting and making offenses, it is not only affecting us, it is also affecting the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need to be very cautious. It is not just us, it is the Supreme Personality of God. So here, Hanti Tvachim Ivamaya, he is giving an analogy comparing if there is a disease on the skin, a leprosy. So if we leave it as it is, it will spread all over the body and will destroy. So in our society, if one devotee makes mistake, it will bring infamous to the entire society. So it needs to be very careful. Devotee means he is representing so many people, Vaishnavas, Krishna, Gurus, everyone. So one must be very, very attentive in while he is executing devotional service. Thank you so much, Mataji, for allowing me to share something. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very, very, very important point. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nicely you explained. Yes, very important. And not just within, Prabhupada said somewhere in the last sentence of the purport that especially within the devotees. He said, especially within the devotees, we should be very careful if we're not offending each other. Then it's very difficult to progress in spiritual life. We'll fall down. But it doesn't mean that just Vaishnavas only within Vaishnavas only we have to be nice and kind. No, we have to be kind with everyone in our office, in our outside world, with our families, whoever is, even if they're not practicing, we are representing, like Prabhu said, we're representing Krishna. So we should be very careful, not because of my foolishness, I should not let Krishna down because I'm connected to him, and people will think that this person, look what this person is doing, no etiquettes, no nothing. And so who is the Lord? Who is the master? So all the blame will go to just like when a son makes a mistake, everyone goes and asks who's the father. He must have taught. Who are the parents? They must have taught. They haven't taught this kid how to behave. So in the same way, when we make mistakes, like Prabhu said, and like Prabhupada is saying in the purport, our Lord gets all the blame, and we don't want that. We want to praise him. So if we behave nicely, credit also goes to Krishna, and that's what we want. That yes, we belong to him, the Supreme Lord, and he is so merciful. He has so many good qualities. So we should also try to take those qualities, because when we associate with Vaishnavas and Krishna, we should automatically get the qualities of the Lord, not quantity, but of his qualities. We can try to and take those qualities within it automatically comes, naturally comes, but we are very careful with our dealings and behaviors and etiquettes in bhakti. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice point. Anyone wants to share? Otherwise, we'll go for the bhajan. Hare Krishna. Who's doing the bhajan? Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Today's translators and singing are Prabhasa and Prananchu, her brother. They're doing the translation as well as singing. So if they can, the translation is read first before the bhajan. So Prabhasa, are you online?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If you can read like one each line, both of you, and then do the bhajan, that will be nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Radha is made of pure love for Krishna, and Hari is made of pure love of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha is the treasure of Krishna and Hari is the treasure of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha pervades the life force of Krishna and Hari pervades the life force of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha is totally melted with Krishna and Hari is totally melted with Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha is situated in the body of Krishna and Hari is situated in the body of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha is fixed in the heart of Krishna and Hari is fixed in the heart of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha wears cloth of blue color and Hari wears cloth of yellow color. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Radha is the mistress of Vrindavana and Krishna is the master of Vrindavana. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter.
Krishna Premamai Radha Radha Premamayo Hari Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama Krishna Premamayi Radha Radha Premamayo Hari Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama
Krishnasya Dravinam Radha Radha Yadravinan Hari Krishna Dravinam Radha Radha Yadravinan Hari Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gatir Mama
Krishna Pranamayi Radha Radha Pranamayo Hari Krishna Pranamayi Radha Radha Pranamayo Hari Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama
Krishna Dravamayi Radha Radha Dravamayo Hari Krishna Dravamayi Radha Radha Dravamayo Hari Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama Jivane Nidhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mama
Krishna Grihe Sita Radha Radha Grihe Sita Hari Krishna Grihe Sita Radha Radha
Krishna gatirmama Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna gatirmama Nilambaradhara Radha Pitam Paradharo Hari Nilambaradhara Radha Pitam Paradharo Hari Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna gati mama Vrindavaneshwari Radha Krishna Vrindavaneshwara Vrindavaneshwari Radha Krishna Vrindavaneshwara Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna gatirmama Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna gatirmama Jivane nidhane nityam Radha Krishna gatirmama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very beautiful singing, both Purvasha and Prabhanshu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful singing both, and with Mataji was fully absorbed in singing with closed eyes, and Prabhu also, little Prabhu and Mataji, very nice. Krishna, I'm very pleased. Keep doing it, and you're playing instruments so nicely, using your talents in Krishna Seva. He'll never forget.
Thank
Keep
you so
doing
much.
that.
I'll be
Hare
very
Krishna.
careful about that.
Hare Krishna.
I think with that, we will end today's session. Thank you so much, all the devotees. And please forgive for any offenses. And thanks for inspiring. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
कल्पतरुश्च कृपा
सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां
नामभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः
नमः
अनंतकोटि
अनन्तकोटि
वैष्णववृंद की जय
जय
प्रभुपाद की
प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
जय और
very nice class Mataji, thank you so much.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Mataji.
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.